Welcome to a game between foxfaction here in blue, starting with Jumbaz, an engineer commander. And we also have yanom, who requested this replay with an engineer commander as well and a hovercraft platform. So yeah, on this map, yanom asked how you do like a fast expanse against aggression like this. You can see here that, foxfaction is starting with an aggressive start. A pyro is a pretty big investment in a situation like this. It's like 220 metal, while yanom is going for a more economic start with a quill first. And he said he had trouble trying to defend early game. And on this map, like, it can be pretty annoying to fight jump pods because they have several angles. They can jump on top, they can jump from here to here, and they can jump on top of this cliff, and they can jump into the base from several angles. So it makes it a bit difficult to defend against jump pods on this map because jump pods can simply avoid the cliffs. So what you want to do is you want to be careful. You want to like scout the enemy, so you're not being very economically like greedy. You just made one count. Personally, I usually use 2 counts on this map. And you haven't spotted enemy, I think, but you're already making a lotus turret here. And making a lotus turret down here is, I mean, it helps, but it's also like if you don't know what factor the enemy is, then making a lotus turret here is quite defensive, and in this situation it won't help you that much. It gives you some like daggers are somewhat weak, but now you should see the incoming. You should see the pyro coming here. Meanwhile, you're still going ahead with the quill here, while you also have 2 raiders not doing anything. So that's kind of bad. If you lose the quill here, that's a pretty big loss. You basically did no damage to the pyro. And yeah, and you lose it. And let's see here, and microing against pyros can be pretty difficult because you kind of want to avoid the fire. This fire was in there as you killed it when it's in there, and the daggers are gonna take a lot of burn time, so to speak. So yeah, you have to be pretty careful with your micro against pyros. A good rule of thumb is to have like 4, 3 can work if you like defending as well, but 4 daggers against a pyro, then you can easily kill it in 2 volleys. If you have 3, then you need like 3 volleys, because yeah, 110 damage versus 690, so yeah, that's 7 shots to kill a pyro. So 4 is a good number if you want to like engage them cost effectively. And yeah, but the pyros can also like jump away and stuff like that, so that's pretty annoying to deal with. Like, they have the cliffs to abuse, so you probably want to be careful with how you like engage them. Yeah. So here you were like, your dagger was kind of out of position, and yeah, it looks like that lotus turret will pay off. And you get it, but will you also lose this dagger? This is something you have to be careful against jump outs, like going out with just 2 daggers against a single pyro, and you're like gonna lose them both. So you want to avoid sending out daggers like in less than groups of 3. 4 is probably preferable. But yeah, he's pretty aggressive here, so it would have been pretty hard to raid. But you can see here that you're falling a bit behind, but still, even when you just get to kill 2, you get catching up again. And yeah, here you want to avoid taking ship damage. You want to make sure you can like run it down this pyro. But if you look at in a situation like this, when it has its jump ready, it can, if you try to overwhelm it, it can jump away to you abuse that. So it's also a question of micro on the other player's part. Yeah. So yeah, this is really micro is really important here. If you get like a group of 4 and you see that the pyro has jumped, then you can defend pretty easily here. Let's see. Do you get it? Oh, you're shooting you're not targeting the weak pyro. Oh, there you got it finally. And in this situation, like, this bolus was kind of weak, but since it's already burning and low in health, you probably want it to finish off the pyro. But still, you like, yeah, you had just two. You had like too few units against 2 pyros there, so you're taking a lot of damage. And also here you can see that you have to micro carefully. Now this, if this dagger would have been in range, it would have shot another shot, and you would have finished off the pyro. So yeah, it's easy that if you don't micro the daggers and let them auto skirmish against pyro, they're probably gonna go in and then go out of range and not fire directly as they have reloaded, and then you're gonna like be burning, and the pyro might jump away and you're still burning, and you just take a lot of damage without doing damage. So yeah, you really have to be careful with how you micro the daggers against pyros. So yeah, you have to pay a lot of attention. Also, you set your factor on 30% retreat. That's pretty bad in this situation. Like a dagger on 30% health, it's gonna burn to death. So you better want to have control of it, so it gets last shot off anyway before it die. A bolus has a bit more health, but yeah, 30% health. If it's on 30% health, it's probably gonna take a bit more damage from the fire, and then it's probably gonna burn to death as well. So yeah, you're better off just trying to turn off that retreat in this situation and just let it burn, and try to kill the pyro as fast as you can, because pyro likes going in and out of battle. If you disengage from a pyro, you're gonna take burn damage, but the pyro is not gonna take burn damage, and it can use its jump again and stuff like that. So it's a lot about micro and dedicated. And here you run out again with just a single quill, and it's like 1 dagger and 1 bolus. It's not gonna cut it. Yeah, if you get in this situation where you have a small army, then you're simply, yeah, you're gonna lose. If you look at the enemy, they have made just 1 con, and you made several cons. Yeah, and this bolus is not in the fight. It might burn to death while this other bolus finish off this pyro. Will it burn to death? Yeah, it burns to death. So that retreat was completely useless. It just brought the bolus out of the fight, and yeah. So yeah, this 30% retreat is pretty bad in this situation. And yeah. And here you can see that even though you have 2 lotus turrets here, they're not in an ideal position. There's still a gap here where the pyros can jump up on the hill. Meanwhile, you're struggling to make use of metal because you lost so many cons here. Now you're trying to compensate by building 3. And yeah, you can see here that the pyros find an angle and they get in. So yeah, these lotus turrets aren't in another matchup where the enemy couldn't just jump above the cliffs. These lotus turrets would be in a good position, but now they basically did nothing. So yeah, yeah, I'd suggest like you have to consider where you build your lotus turrets. It matters quite a bit what matchup you're in. If you're facing off against jump pods, yeah, then it's gonna be harder to bend with lotus turrets. And then I recommend, like, yeah, you can get lotus turrets like here to protect mexes here, like here, maybe here. Here is pretty good as well. Like you can get 1 there, for example, 1 there. That's 4. That's a pretty good defense. Getting defense here, yeah, like getting 1 lotus turret there and 1 there can be fine to protect the base in conjunction with your daggers. But yeah, it's also like it's kind of a slippery slope in the sense that if you have 4 daggers and engage against 1 pyro, you can get really good trades with your daggers, and they'll probably, most of them will survive, maybe lose 1 or 2. But yeah, if you're running them in like 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, yeah, you're gonna lose your daggers without doing much damage to the pyros. So yeah, I'd suggest using daggers. Bolas is fine as well. They're a bit short range in a situation like this. They can work, But yeah, having that Lotus turrets in good positions, like 1 or 2 Lotus turrets, like one there, helps you engage, like keep the pyros at distance. So yeah. But also you lost your early quills quite uselessly. Like this one you lost. You had the pyro and radar and you ran out with the quill and you lost it, and still I think you still lost 2 daggers. So yeah. You just gotta be like more assertive with your daggers. Make sure you have 3 or 4 or more, and try to micro to like go in, kill the pyro, and don't let it like jump out, and don't like make them auto skirmish so they go out of range on their own. You have to like be assertive with your daggers, go in and deal damage. Bolas can work in defense, but they're a bit slow, but in conjunction with the Lotusers they're perfectly fine. Yeah. So yeah. Those are my tips for you in these situations. Good luck and have fun.